Hey there, folks. Let me tell you about my first rodeo as a federal contractor back in the wild 90s. Picture this. I'd been swimming with the software sharks, writing code till my fingers cramped. Then bam, I landed a gig with a big-time federal agency. Talk about a culture shock. Gone were the jeans and t-shirts, replaced by starched collars and ties. It felt like stepping onto a movie set about Washington, D.C., and I was just an extra who'd wandered in by mistake. My first day? Let's just say it involved a lot of paperwork, awkward introductions, and trying to figure out who did what. Government agencies, as I quickly learned, were a whole different beast. They were like giant cruise ships, slow to turn and full of hidden compartments. And me? I was just a deckhand trying to find my sea legs. The pace was different. The language was different. Even the coffee tasted different. And not in a good way. But hey, I'm a roll-up-your-sleeves kind of guy. I was there to do a job, learn something new, and maybe, just maybe, make a difference. Little did I know what I was in for. My mission, should I choose to accept it, and I kinda had to, was to be the WAN administrator. WAN, for you landlubbers, stands for Wide Area Network. Basically, I was the guy making sure all the computers in this massive government agency could talk to each other. Think of it like being the air traffic controller for data, only instead of planes, it was ones and zeros. Now, I was no stranger to computers. But this was like going from fixing a leaky faucet to rerouting the entire city's water supply. The scale was mind-boggling. Luckily, I wasn't alone. I joined forces with the LAN team. That's Local Area Network for you newbies. These guys and gals were the local heroes, the ones who kept the computers humming in the trenches. They knew every wire, every server, every quirk in the system. And let me tell you, there were quirks aplenty. We're talking about government-issued computers here, folks. These things were about as cutting-edge as a butter knife in a sword fight. But hey, we made it work. We were like a band of techie MacGyvers, keeping the information flowing with duct tape, chewing gum, and a whole lot of prayers. One of my main gigs was upgrading these ancient computers from Windows 3 to, wait for it, Windows 95. Yeah, I know, cutting-edge stuff, right? It felt like traveling back in time and bringing the future with me. We're talking floppy disks, dial-up modems, the whole 9 yards, and don't even get me started on Netscape. Remember that bad boy? The browser that ruled the internet before Google even existed? Yeah, we were installing that on every single computer. It was like teaching a dinosaur how to use a smartphone. Slow, painful, and occasionally hazardous to our health, mostly from banging our heads against the desks in frustration. But hey, we got it done. One computer at a time, we dragged this government agency kicking and screaming into the digital age. It wasn't pretty, but it was progress. And in the government, progress can be measured in geological time. Now, let's talk about the office itself. This wasn't your typical Silicon Valley startup with beanbag chairs and ping-pong tables. This was a government building, folks. We're talking about a massive complex that could have doubled as a small city. It had more corridors than I could count, offices that seemed to stretch on forever, and enough fluorescent lighting to make your eyes water. And the people? Well, let's just say not everyone was exactly burning the midnight oil. I saw more people reading the newspaper than working on computers. Lunch breaks seemed to stretch into 2-hour siestas. And the coffee breaks? Don't even get me started. One of my co-workers, a seasoned government employee, let me in on a little secret. He said, "Mike, in the government, you get rewarded for not doing anything wrong, not for doing anything right." It was an eye-opener, that's for sure. The whole experience gave me a whole new perspective on government work. It was clear that things moved at a different pace, and efficiency wasn't exactly top of mind. Don't get me wrong, there were good people working hard, but the system itself seemed designed to prevent, rather than promote, progress. Looking back, it was like taking a crash course in how not to run a business. It taught me the importance of efficiency, accountability, and a good old-fashioned sense of urgency. Things I try to carry with me in everything I do today.